Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early February 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for Aries gang? What do you have for us? What's going on for the Rams in early February? It's Aquarius season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries in early February. What's the vibe? What's the energy here for my good friends? So the last couple of weeks I've been liking what we've been seeing, so we're going to hope to continue that. All right, this feels very watery, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of creativity and imagination with this card. Believe it or not, this is actually a card that shows up pretty regularly. Doesn't matter what time of the year. And I think it does have a lot of positives. There are some drawbacks as well, just like with any card. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk a little more in depth about this card. So as you can see, it's a beautiful piece of imagery. We have this little clown ballerina down there. She's all curled up, looks like she's having a little nap, taking a snooze. And then this one up here is walking on a tightrope. And I always say, when I see this card, I don't think it's two different people. Like, oh, she's just watching this one practice. To me, it's more like daydreaming. So the one that's taking a nap is kind of thinking about what they want to do in the future, or just it's very imaginative when we look at the big picture. So for a lot of Aries, the creative juices could be flowing, or spirit might want you to like really release your creative potential. Even if you're going through some situations, spirit might want you to think outside of the box. That's what I think with this card. Of course, it does tie into more of a future focused type of vibe. So if you've been taking a lot of trips down memory lane, or you're feeling stuck for whatever reason, this is spirit saying, like, look ahead, find something to look forward to. So this card does have some really beautiful aspects. The only downside, since it has so much of that Four of Cups imagination type of vibe, it could be overthinking, a lot of daydreaming, maybe some fantasizing going on with that card, but that's not bad as long as you're not too stuck in the mind. So we're going to let her chill right there. She could keep doing what she's doing. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Aries. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So as I mentioned a couple moments ago, it was pretty positive. The reading was titled A Massive Payoff. And the overarching theme that I saw last week was that of progress, improvement, things getting better. For a lot of Aries, there could be situations you're dealing with or processes that you're going through that could pay off in the end, even if they don't seem like it right this moment. So it was a nice silver lining. It was a nice light at the end of the tunnel. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going here. 3 cards to start. What do we got for Aries gang in early February, please? Thank you. Okay. Yeah, cool. So we got the beautiful Queen of Wands. That is an Aries power card. Always love to start off a reading with her. So we're going to get her tucked in right by that amethyst. Let's get a couple more here. That's a good start, hopefully. Right. Okay. A little communication, Ace of Pentacles. So I'm feeling okay at the moment. Just going to get that tucked in. Let's get one more out here, then we'll start piecing it together. A lot of those energies with the fire and the earth, that's like outside influences. Okay. Ooh, interesting. So it's like we have a yin yang going on, because now we have the King of Swords right here on the back end. And we also got a bonus card this week with, surprise, surprise, another ace. So it's like we have a little theme happening here, where there's this mirroring effect of energy, which I think is okay. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always like to look at the elements. I feel like it informs a lot of information about the areas of life or how the energy could be moving. And some of you might already notice that we have every single element out here, which I think is a good thing. When it's too much of one thing, it could get a little lopsided, it could get a little heavy. But we have fire, we have earth, we have air, we have water, all four elements. Now, these could be different areas of life. This could be different aspects of the same situation. It really depends on you. But let's just go through real quick with the fire. That's our comfort zone. That's our comfort element. That's the realm of action. So the actions we take, the actions other people take. I always say, think of your vitality, your inner passion, your drive, your desire. So I love the Queen of Wands, any Wands card for that matter. The downsides of fire, sometimes it could be a little risky. Sometimes it could be a little explosive or unpredictable. But moving over, we have Earth, which these two balance each other off. These are external energies because it's like we have the action in the world. But Earth, think of your sense of stability, sense of security. Now, sometimes Aries like us, we could get a little frustrated with Earth energy, but it can be really great. It's great for work, business, money, any opportunity in that realm. And I think it provides a lot of structure. But the downside to Earth energy, yeah, sometimes it could be a little clogged up. So we're going to have to see when we clarify it. Back here we have air, so the realm of the mind, thought process. We think of a very pragmatic, logical approach to things. This is a suit of strategy and communication. And then, of course, we finish off with water back here, which is the emotional realm. Just like that very first card, it could be daydreaming, it could be creative, but the downside to too much water, it could be up and down. But notice, two core cards, two aces. There's a lot of communication, talking, messages happening. Let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we're starting, as mentioned, an Aries power card. And I mean, even if you're a cross watcher, this could be a really good thing. We got the Queen of Wands. Now, I always say when it comes to queens, they represent the internal aspect of the suit. So we already spoke about the fire, what it is. It's all about action. So when I see her, I think of self-confidence. I think of how you view yourself, how you treat yourself could be very important in this time for Aries. Are you holding yourself up on a pedestal? Are you being mean to yourself? Like, those are important things to consider when the Queen of Wands is here, because normally she's attractive, she's magnetic, and she's just a beautiful, powerful type of energy. But in her downside, she could be very sporadic. Remember, I said about the explosiveness. So we're going to want to keep an eye on her. In the simplest form, I already mentioned, like in my style, when we clarify her, it could just tell us something that's coming towards us or a way we might be feeling. But I think it's a good start, especially since it's an Aries power card and element. Now, moving over to the center, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Love aces, huge for offers, opportunities. It's a fresh, new type of energy. So the Ace of Pentacles is great. To me, this is a card of golden opportunities or something that might just fall into your lap. I know in life, sometimes we have to work, 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 work. Sometimes things just add up for us and we get a lucky break. That's what this card represents to me. Now, the downside to any ace is it's not guaranteed. It's something that has a lot of great potential, but it's not set in stone yet, where you might have to meet the universe halfway. And of course, when it comes to aces, these are conversations. So it's like we have the court cards and we have the conversation in the center. So we want to look and see if there's any interesting messages or communications coming through, especially since we have two aces. So I think that is okay so far. Now, moving to the middle, the back end, we have the King of Swords, which again, that's an energy that can work very well with Aries energy. Think of air signs, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Kings aren't about the internal aspects of the suit, they're about control of the suit. So remember when I said with him, he's about planning, strategy, structure. It's very intelligent, very smart. So you might be seeing something clearly, and this is a huge card of honesty and straightforwardness. So I like it. If it's not another person's energy, if you're in this energy, it's pretty cut and dry, pretty clear, which I think is good. But the downside to the King of Swords, he can be mean, he can be harsh, he could be a little too critical. And sometimes he does show up when something serious either needs to be addressed or pops up. So we want to see, is this the serious king or is it the strategy king? Could be any of those. And of course, swords, that's the communication suit. So we're going to get him tucked back in over here. And real quick for your bonus, rounding out everything perfectly, we have the lovely Ace of Cups. So very similar to this ace, offers, opportunities. This one's more so connected to emotional offers, whereas this one's a little bit more practical. This one is more about feelings. And again, aces, they're not guaranteed, but there's great potential. And I'm just getting a lot of chit chat, a lot of talk. So your phone might be blowing up a little more so than usual. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aries. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for our good friends? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that beautiful, magnetic Queen of Wands. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Queen of Wands time. What's she up to? Why is she here? Thank you. Cool. Biting. All right. This energy seems to be biting its tongue a little bit. So again, another person, but pages carry a very similar energy to the aces. They're both fresh, new. Pages are huge, like for being a messenger and a student. So when I see the Page of Cups in reverse under an Aries power card, either one, it's someone you're not trying to really speak to, or something you're just trying to hold back from saying, where it's like, oh, I really think this, maybe I should say it. It's like one of those things. Now, again, as an Aries myself, I know we're not known to be very restricted in saying our opinions or saying what we want to say. But for a lot of Aries, there could be things or situations that pop up in this time where it's like, you know what, I'm going to reserve judgment for a minute, or maybe I'm not going to respond just yet. It's giving me that kind of vibe. So, again, whatever situation you're dealing with, for some of you, this could be advice from Spirit, where it's like, okay, address it, but not right away. There might be something that Spirit wants you to just marinate with and just wait on it. Because, yeah, this energy here in the front is like, oh, there's things I want to say, but I'm going to hold off for a minute, especially with this Page of Cups. Either that, or there could be someone or something that you don't want to address or don't want to speak to for whatever reason. So we're just going to put them down right there. Very simple, straightforward. And of course, like with all these people we're seeing and all this communication, it does feel very chattery. It does feel like there's a lot of talking going on. So we want to see what type of communication we could be looking at here. Like, is it gossipy? Potentially. Is it just a lot of people coming at you? That could be possible too. But what's going on that Ace of Pentacles? Let's see what the Ace of Pentacles has. We'll get a better idea as we move across. If we keep getting more court cards, though, it's just a lot of people. Let's see. Thank you. Another ace. I think for depending on the Aries, this reading is either absolutely amazing or it could be something that bothers you a little bit. I mean, it's one or the other. Because for some of you, with three aces, three court cards, there's just so much opportunity, so much fresh, so much new. Even if you're like thinking or dealing with something that's already happened, it's like we have new approaches, we have new ways of doing things. I feel like there's lanes opening up. So for some of you, yeah, offers, opportunities, absolutely on the table. And it's like they find their way to you. But the annoying or potentially annoying part of it is all the chatter. It's all the chatter because it's not coming from one side, it's coming from this side, that side. So I am getting this little underlying gossipiness where it's like, all right, well, it seems like everyone has an opinion. It's like everyone has an opinion on this thing. Ace of Wands, just like the other ones, offers opportunities. We already mentioned it, but this one's a little more fiery, right? This one, it's not holding back. So for some of you, maybe there's just a message or a conversation where it's like, I've held back enough. I'm going to say something. I'm finally going to say something. It's giving me that kind of vibe. If not you, it could be someone else too, where it's like, I have to say something. So a lot of chit chat, a lot of talk, potential gossipiness, but I also see lanes opening up for you for various things. It's like the parting of the sea where all these lanes open up. So for some of you, it's very exciting. Let's keep moving forward. Yeah, again, it depends on your situation, but we have some very clear themes this week, if you can't tell from looking at the box. But let's see what the King of Swords has here. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. Lots of opinions. It's like everyone has an opinion and another person. Okay. Okay. Someone not quite seeing. All right. Definitely watch out for miscommunications because someone might take what you say and like misunderstand it, or there's like some sort of wires being crossed, especially with the Knight of Wands in reverse underneath the King of Swords. It's like, oh, did they mean to do that? Did they mean to say that? um, I don't want to say it feels like a mistake to me, but it just feels like someone is viewing something through a skewed lens. So again, I'm not saying that their reality itself is skewed, but there could be a situation where there's a misunderstanding, or they misread my actions where I said something, but they took it another way. So I see, again, the gossipy energy is all over the place. So I would say in this time for a lot of Aries, watch out for anyone that's dumping a lot of gossipy information towards you. Uh, I'm not going to say be careful who you trust people or how you trust people with information, but you might want to reserve your opinions and thoughts about something, especially with all this, because I feel it getting twisted potentially, especially with this Knight of Wands. Now, another thing with the Knight of Wands, this is more about action. So the action suit, action card, when I see him in reverse underneath the King of Swords, it is very, very spontaneous. So for some of you, maybe this is a person coming in and it's like, oh, they weren't planning on it, but they did. They weren't planning on saying something, but you know what? They did it anyway. So I do have this like unexpected or surprising talk here as well, but there's like so much other chit chat and yapping going on here, which again doesn't have to be bad. For a lot of you, there are a lot of lanes that are opening up. So we have so much intriguing stuff, and all these people and aces. There's just a lot happening. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, so again, I've been pounding this home the whole time. There's a huge theme here with the 4 court cards, 3 aces, and that could be very good for a lot of areas. But we have the Queen of Wands with the Page of Cups in reverse. So holding back, wanting to say something, but deciding not to. Holding back on addressing something. So for some areas, you might be biting your tongue. Maybe someone you're connected to is, where it's like, I'll address it another time. Or that could be advice from spirit, like, oh, maybe hold back a little bit, especially with all this energy, especially towards the back end. In the center, we have the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. That's great. So massive offer or opportunity. Again, with the conversation gossipiness that's happened, it feels like everyone has a strong opinion and they're voicing it. But for another portion of you, this could be lanes opening for different results where it's like, all right, well, I didn't think there was a way forward here, but yeah, the sea has parted. So I think that's really good. It's claimable. On the back end, we have the Knight or the King of Swords with the Knight of Wands in reverse. And this does feel like somebody misunderstanding something or misconstruing your actions or what you say. It feels like someone might be twisting words. So I would just be cautious about who you say what to, if that makes sense, because there is this little gossipy energy too. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Aries gang. What do we got for my good friends? And yes, I always like to pull one of these at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel and have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get your shadow card here. Are we going to get another ace? Or are we going to get another court card? Who knows? Maybe it'll be something different. Okay, 3 of Swords, a very common card to see within the shadows. And for some of you, this could just be a little bit of an annoyance, like a nuisance. Because if I got the 10 of Swords, I'd be like, all right, that's a little heavier, that's a little heftier. But the 3 of Swords is always on a spectrum. Now, yes, can it represent pain? Can it represent heartbreak, scars, and baggage that we have? Sure. So for some areas, I would still be careful about who you share certain things with. But at the same time, maybe Spirit wants you to clear up some of that emotional baggage. Now, that's only for some areas, but a big thing I'm picking up here with this 3 of Swords this week is where something just feels like an annoyance. So just watch out for that. And again, it could just Spirit be saying like, hey, you might be quick to being annoyed with someone or something. Your tolerance for BS might be extra low when this card is here, which, I mean, again, with all the chit chat and yapping, I mean, it would make sense. So this energy just feels a little bit annoyed. But it could also be a great time of healing for some of us. So we're just going to leave it like that, Aries. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the February subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com, so we could have a little chat. My February calendar is up, so go check that out. They usually go pretty quick. But for the February subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice different style this month. We're doing a winner's choice. So the winners, which will be 3, will have their choice of the Tarot of the Owls, the Gilded Tarot Royale, or a handmade crystal pendant from my shop. mastermetaphysics.com once again. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards we saw in this week's reading, which one caught your attention the most, whether it really inspired you or hit you right in your feelings. Anyone that stood out to you, and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.